Oh my, what a game last night. The San Antonio Spurs traveling to Oklahoma City, performing a wonder of wonders in the Western Conference Finals Game 1. I am your host, the Road Spur, and this is the post-game report. I woke up this morning just blissed out. That double overtime battle between the Spurs and the Thunder last night was one of the best playoff games I've ever seen. And it is certainly, it's comparable to some of the best going way back. I really enjoyed every second of that. And had we lost, I still would have been very proud of the boys. Everything for us now is, as they say, house money. It's gravy because we did not expect to be here. The Spurs exceeded my expectations in the regular season, and now they are exceeding my hopes in the playoffs, which leads us to our dreams of a championship. And right now, it feels like it's possible. Windhorst this morning said, completely resigned. He said, I don't see how anybody's going to take 4 out of 7 from this guy, meaning Victor. And what Victor did last night, 40-plus points, 24 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a dominating presence in the paint at the defensive end, so that there was zero penetration for any of their powerful, speedy guards when Vic was on the floor. And at the offensive end, just dominant. They had Caruso on him, just chucking him, hitting him, poking at the ball, jabbing at the ball. Alex Caruso had maybe the game of his life, if you're talking about individual efforts. It was just incredible to watch him last night. Alex Caruso was the best of the Oklahoma City Thunder last night on the offensive end and the defensive end. He was the only one hitting threes. They went cold from 3. The Spurs started to kind of let them have the corner 3 and went for these double teams on SGA. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was basically unable to function. He was handcuffed by a defense that was so impressive. The Spurs MVP is Team D. So the beauty of this was De'Aaron Fox was allowed to rest because his ankle, which has been tough all year, in the previous series, the very physical series with the Wolves, the ankle got a little bit worse. And we decided to give Dylan Harper, the 20-year-old Dylan Harper, the start. Dylan has had 4 starts, each getting progressively better. But the Spurs were 4-0 when Dylan started. So here was a chance to go 5-0 when Dylan starts. But it's the Western Conference Finals against the champs. For a 20-year-old to run that, we have to start with that. In the second half, everybody was talking about how, well, that lead's not that big of a deal because the Thunder, they own the third quarter. The third quarter is the Thunder's quarter. The third quarter, they're going to dominate that. You haven't faced the Thunder in the third quarter, all that. The Spurs come out. Dylan steals the ball, goes the distance, and gives the Spurs an extended lead. His speed, his quickness, his alertness, his youth was quite effective last night. And we are the 2 youngest teams as well. So this says a lot to the future of the NBA, my friends. It doesn't matter. I don't even want Giannis. I don't want anybody big and slow. Because now it's all about youth. And anybody who's not designing their teams the way the Oklahoma City Thunder. By the way, that's Sam Presti. Where did he come from? San Antonio. That's right. Everything is from the San Antonio coaching tree. From Buford, Pop, and the Holtz. We invented the modern, successful NBA format. It's team play. It's team defense. It's not paying huge superstars tons of money. It's trying to draft as much as humanly possible. Drafting the right pieces and getting them to buy into the system, which is the beautiful game. An ethical game. You play Team D and the offense will come. Now we've added volumetric, scoring a ton on the offensive end, even in transition, because we have young, fast guys and they want to go. And it turns out they're perfectly capable of going. Our guards are big and strong. There's no way Jared McCain or Ajay Mitchell or any of these guys are going to stand up to Dylan Harper at 6'6" and Stefan Castle. It's not happening. And in the second half, they came out saying that's how it's going to be. And that's how it was. And this was a war after that. SGA was contained by Dylan Harper, Stefan Castle, Julian Champagny. We cannot say enough about Julian Champagny because it's not going to show up in the box score, and it's not going to show up in the mouths of these idiots who talk about sports because they don't know the game or know our team or see the game. But Julian Champagny, who is the MIS Most Improved Spur of 2025-26, we asked him at the very beginning of the year to do two things. One is to play defense and grab boards. And boards were going to be key. At his height, we were like, we're going to need that down there. You're going to have to work with Vic being out this way, that way, et cetera, et cetera. And he has done that. And then the other thing was the three. Can you add the three to your arsenal? And he did that. And now he's become a clutch three-point shooter and brilliant at not only rebounding, but because he's down there playing the rebounding, he's playing great defense. He's making steals, clutch steals. Because Julian goes a little unnoticed, not just by the talking heads, sometimes by the players out there. So that was the tripartite thing that happened last night with De'Aaron Fox. I'm calling Champagny a guard there, but you get what I mean. Then, if that shift was made, if the Thunder were able to do the Steph Curry switcheroos where you try to get your man free, guess who's standing in the paint? So many times they go charging down and they realize it's Vic. We have to have a name for that. We've got to come up with something. What do we call that? The deterrence moment? We need some word that describes, because it happens every single game. So the reason why Vic is the MVP is because half the game is defense. And 1/4 of their time on offense, they cannot do what they want to do because they cannot go in the paint. And we absolutely disrupted the Oklahoma City Thunder's favorite way to score. SGA was held to 3 for 13 through 3 quarters. Unreal. The guy could not find any of his spots in the mid-range. They did not exist. The Spurs played perimeter defense all the way out to past the three-point line. They had 2-3 guys playing out there, and they forced Oklahoma City to have to do the same. So by the time we were in the overtime, both teams were playing perimeter defense out past the three-point line with like 4 guys wrestling each other for position, trying to free somebody on a pick and roll, a double pick and roll, 2 screens in a box. It was all this amazing PTR play. And that was such a joy to watch. That was one of the best games I've ever seen because it was such a joy to watch all of that kind of stuff. PNR, sorry, not PTR. Pick and roll is what I meant. They started to heat up finally, Oklahoma City did. But the only 2 guys who were scoring for them were Jalen Williams and Alex Caruso. And before the game started, I said that to everybody on Blue Sky. I said, listen to me. Alex Caruso doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care that KJ won the 6th man of the year. He doesn't care that Victor's 7'5". He doesn't care. He is a dog. This guy is like gym rat is the word we used to use. And Alex Caruso, he is my most hated, feared, and admired Thunder player. Even though I admire SGA, it's the offensive end. And I love defense because I'm a Spurs fan. And the Spurs MVP is Team D, always. The Road Spur came up with that back in 1999, I think. Yeah. The Spurs MVP is Team D, says the Road Spur, as the Spurs take game 1 in Oklahoma City. What a game! And I got excited, and so I set up this little thing, and I decided I'm going to start calling the games because I like having that. So I have started calling the games. I'm going to go live during the games. The screen is over there. You're not allowed to see it, but occasionally I'll put the audio on. I don't think we'll get any copyright strikes. You can join in the chat window. I will be 30 seconds behind, which is annoying. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? But you can go now and look at the streams from the first half and second half of game 1. They are up here on the site. Hi, viewer. I'm about to shut this off, but this is just to tell everybody that I'm going to be going live during the Western Conference Finals, every game right here. The Road Spur.